Hi friends. Are? Hi. Just hello. This is not working. Send somebody. Huh? The mic is not working. Hello. Hi. Let us close our eyes for a moment. Quickly. Wait for a moment. Hi friends. Wonderful. Online friends, please confirm you can see me and hear me. Yes, kya? Sitting here, you saying yes. Please type yes. Yes. Chaliye, thank you. So, a quick recap. We had begun with Weber in the last lecture. Tell me, brother, what do you understand by ideal type? Just in the first instance, define what is an ideal type. Don't give me background info. ठीक है, it is a model of social reality created by the researcher using his ideas. Wonderful. Tell me more about the nature of the ideal type. Ideal types are not like the empirical reality. They are more like a caricature. They are pure type. What do you mean when we say they are pure type? Okay. And we say they are fictional in character. Bitya? Yes. Raise your hand. Yes. Tell me, what is the purpose of developing ideal types? So comfortable. है ना? Bitya? Yes. Tell me, what is the purpose of developing ideal types? हाँ आपको. I was also happily absent. Bitya? Yes. Wonderful. Very nicely and fairly comprehensively summarized. Social reality is very vast and chaotic and unorganized, almost incomprehensible. So, developing ideal types helps the researcher to make some sense of this chaotic reality. Particularly, it helps the researcher, it's a methodological tool which enables him to classify, compare, and even define various social phenomena. ठीक है, फिर बस क्या होता है? Tell me, बिटिया, what is social action? Wonderful, small, simple definition. It is the meaningful act which is oriented in its course. And Bitya, yes, tell me what are the different types of social actions? Affective social action. What does it mean? Based on emotions. Give me an example. Yes? No, not you. Bitya. With the mask on, yes. You were not present, Bitya? Sorry? Mother slapping the kids in rage is an example of a which type? किसका example दिया है आपने? Affective social action. Wonderful. Brother, what is the other type? Traditional, meaning what? Values driven nahi hai. Sorry, that's not the good definition. What is traditional social action, brother? In blue? Blue t-shirt? Looking into your notebook? Yes, tell me. What is traditional social action, beta? नहीं पढ़ा? क्यों? Brother? Yes. जो आप पीछे हलचल कर रहे थे इन द वाइट टी शर्ट, टेल मी व्हाट इज ट्रेडिशनल सोशल एक्शन? हाँ बोलिए. एब्सेंट. ब्रदर जिनके साथ वो हलचल कर रहे थे, व्हाट इज ट्रेडिशनल सोशल एक्शन? बताइए. पढ़ा नहीं? गलत बात. व्हाट इज ट्रेडिशनल सोशल एक्शन? ठीक है. बेस्ड ऑन ट्रेडिशंस. गिव मी एन एग्जांपल. सॉरी. सल्यूटिंग ऑफिसर्स इन द मिलिटरी. ओके. हाँ ठीक है. व्हाट इज द नेक्स्ट टाइप ऑफ सोशल एक्शन, ब्रदर? यस. Zweck rational, also referred to as goal oriented rational social action. Bitya, also referred to as formal rationality. Meaning what, brother? Yes. For social action is not well explained. I'm sorry. You're almost there, but Bitya, do better. ठीक है. And give me an example. ठीक है. Only that while writing in the examination, don't use first person. Don't say I did this or that. Abhi to understand it's fine, but we avoid that in the answer sheet. ठीक है. Then what is brother in green? Yes. Absent. Brother in the specs? Yes. Which is the other type? Next type? Zweck rational, also known as? Zweck rational social action is also known as what? No. What is it also known as? Dash rationality. Fill in the blank. Okay. Brother? Absent. Brother? Substantive rationality. Bitya. Educating him, educate all of us. Also known as substantive rationality, also known as value oriented rational social action. What does it mean, Bitya, in Brown? Yes. No, Bitya in Brown. Oh, slip of tongue. So, you pardon that to old teachers, aging teachers. Bitya, coming back to you before you cheat. Why have we not revised? Who will revise for us? Brother? Goals are driven by values and means are chosen rationally. Wonderful. Give me an example.
So, for example, if a bureaucrat, give an example, bureaucrat is offered bribe, he takes it, it's strict rational, but if he rejects it, it's worth rational.
Why is it worth rational? You'll have to explain that.
Yeah, because the bribe part is the rationality, the means. But
Sorry?
the reason he rejects the bribe is his value.
Ha.
Value of honesty
And what is the means he's adopted for that? The means is rejection of the bribe. That's the rejection of the bribe. Okay? Not the bribe, but the rejection of the bribe. ठीक है. Can you give me another example of worth rational? Can you give me another example? ये तो collective confusion है. Brother? Sorry? If? Absolutely. Say of getting caught and lot of surveillance, etc. happening. Yeah, so coming back to my question, give me another example of worth rational. Brother? Worth rational. Okay, explain that. We are all intrigued. अच्छा, ये भी सही है. Brother? Charity. That can also be explained in terms of worth rational. Or a soldier laying down his life, right, for the country. All these would be worth rational kind of social actions. Good examples. One second, is that all we discussed? What? What is verse 7? You've spoken actually. Bitya, what is verse 7? Yes. To interpret something. Dhanyavad bhaiya. Ek second. To interpret something. Build on it, explain it. Bitya. What am I asking? Verse 7. Two types, namely. लिख दो आके फिर. I can't pronounce it. Meaning, namely, two types, namely. Actuals versus the hen. And what is actuals versus the hen, Bitya? Sorry? Direct observational understanding is actuals versus the hen. And the second type, Bitya? Absent. Bitya? Beta. Yes, you. Eclairandis versus the hen. देख के बोला तो अब बिना देखे स्पेल कर दो. E के L E RANDES, eclerandis. So बेटे, हाँ नहीं, अब not you, no, not you, white stripes. हाँ, tell me वर्स्तहन की स्पेलिंग जरा. VERSTEHEN. ठीक है, some students have been known to refer to it as Vastraharan. Don't do that. ठीक है, it's Varstahan. What is this eclerandis Varstahan, brother? No, not you, your neighbor. Empathetic understanding. How does the researcher do it, Bitya? By putting themselves in the position of the social actor. And is this method of Verstehen confined to certain situations, or does it have very wide application? Brother in the red checks shirt and cap? Yes. Does the method of Verstehen have limited or very wide application? बताइए, क्या वर्स्टर्न का मेथड कुछ सर्टेन कॉन्टेक्स्ट में अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, या वाइड वैरायटी ऑफ सोशल सिचुएशंस को एनालाइज करने के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हैं? सर्टेन के लिए क्यों? आपने सोचा दो में से एक चूज करना है, कोई भी कर लेते हैं इंकी पिंकी पोंकी करके. डजंट वर्क लाइक दैट. एक्सप्लेन इट व्हाई. बिटिया इन येलो, इज ही राइट? What I am asking you, is the method of Verstehen very widely applicable or limited in only certain social contexts? Why widely applicable? And one need not be Caesar in order to अंडरस्टैंड सीजर. गुड. ठीक है, और क्या पढ़ा था हमने? बस हाँ, वो चुन्नू सा है. और ब्रदर इन वाइट, एशियाटिक मोड ऑफ प्रोडक्शन. क्या पढ़ा था ना? हाँ, तो फिर very good, well explained. But while writing, okay, on any topic, please in the first paragraph mention the scholar associated with that concept. So one key thing missing in your this thing was Karl Marx. You know, it's a part of Marxist writings. ठीक है बिटिया? No, you've done. बिटिया? Yes, orange t-shirt. हाँ, tell me more about, no, orange, yours is pink. Okay. So tell me more about the Asiatic mode. You said no private ownership of land, right? Correct. What do? The monarch? They extract tribute. Bilkul. On the basis of control over irrigation facilities or military power. Wonderful. Quick criticisms of the brother? Yes. Quick criticisms of the Asiatic mode? Simply, the economy in India and China was pretty similar to pre-colonial India and China was similar to medieval Europe. So it was feudal in character. Very good. Another criticism, same, brother? Okay, brother? Green? Yes. That he just said, yeah. Another criticism. That's the same thing. Another criticism. Chalo chodo, what is praxis? To act. So do कीड़े मकोड़े do praxis. Do animals do praxis? Then what is praxis? To translate theory into action. ठीक है? To change the world in a given direction. That is praxis. है ना? क्या कहा था मार्क्स ने? Philosophers have interpreted the world in various ways. The point, however, is to change it. What is brother in yellow? Yellow? बैग लेके जा रहे हो, सुन लो. हाँ, टेल मी, ठीक है, बैठ भी जाइए और बताइए व्हाट इज कमोडिटी फेटिशिज्म. व्हाट इज कमोडिटी फेटिशिज्म? Wonderful. Very simply explained, but very correctly. When we value a product intrinsically for its own sake and forget the labor which has gone into its making. Okay? While writing, you have a correct understanding. While writing, just refine your bhasha, to make it more Marxist and okay, but correct understanding. What is brother in black? What is reification? No, you are in grey, black. Thingification of everything. Meaning? ठीक है, wonderful. And brother in white, raise your hand. Yes, white. हाँ. Who gave this concept of reification? George Michael? George Lukács. Very good. ठीक है. So यही किया था. चले जीवन में आगे. Any doubts? First online, फिर offline. ठीक है. Mic is working. ठीक है. Sir, are there types of social actions which you taught? Were they types of social actions or were they types of ideal types? It's a very poetic kind of a question. तो आप बताइए, the types of social actions that you taught, were they types of social actions or were they types of ideal types? They were types of social actions. But they were also ideal typical. In other words, they were a model. These were concepts, right? That are developed by a researcher. This is a classificatory scheme developed by a researcher. ठीक है? Weberian methodology, quick overview. 3 pillars. Causal pluralism, meaning that behind any social phenomena, there are multiple causative factors. In stark contrast to the monocausal explanation offered by Marxist sociology. ठीक? The second is Verstehen, which means to understand the subjective meaning attached by the actor to his actions, for which we take 2 steps: actuous Verstehen or direct observational understanding, and Eckerland's Verstehen, meaning empathetic understanding. So for that, the second step, the researcher has to imaginatively place himself in the shoes of the social actor. Then we talked about ideal types, which are models made by the researcher in order to facilitate his research using his ideas. So it's a methodological tool, and there is no one-on-one correspondence in the empirical world and these models that we develop. Yet these are quite useful tools for a researcher to conduct his research. They enable definition, they bring us a better understanding of the empirical world, which is far more complex and convoluted, and they enable classification and comparison of real life phenomena. ठीक? That is what we had discussed. Or Commodity fetishism is what? Simply, it is when we see products which are bought and sold in the market, also called commodities, as having an intrinsic value. According to Marx, things have value because labor has been put into it. So labor contributes to any item, any product, anything having a value. But while buying, selling products, we forget that. And that is, or we consider that the products have some intrinsic value or a value of their own. This is commodity fetishism. Okay? Even social relations are seen as relations between things. Any doubts? BT. Zweck. Worth rational. Are goals and means. So she is saying she is corrupt, okay, and I'm not taking her name on record. She's saying she is corrupt, but she doesn't accept a bribe. तो ये किस टाइप के सोशल एक्शन में आएगा? What do you say, guys? It will be a possibly a Zweck rational, because the all likelihood, why you're not taking the bribe even though you're corrupt? Because you think that there's a lot of surveillance going on and you might end up losing your job itself. So given these circumstances, it is a rational choice for you to preserve or maximize your benefit by saving your job, even if you end up in the near term with lesser money. और 2 साल बाद कमा लेंगे. करियर तो अभी पड़ा है ना, नई नई सरकार आई है, केजरीवाल की थोड़ा ज्यादा उछल रही है. ठीक है, आई एम हियर फॉर गुड. हाँ, हाँ, the means are in accordance with the goals, of course. हाँ. बेटी. गोल भी रैशनल है. इट इज बेनिफिट मैक्सिमाइजेशन. नहीं, वो वैल्यू नहीं होती है. शी डिड नॉट पुट इट वेरी नाइसली, बट दैट्स नॉट अ वैल्यू. ओके, ये कोई वैल्यू नहीं होती कि मैं करप्ट हूं. वो आपका नेचर है, आपका कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है, आपका प्रकार है. क्या क्या क्या? ज़्वेक रैशनल का. हाँ, नहीं, जो गोल है वो वैल्यू ड्रिवन है और जो मीन्स है वो है रैशनल इन लाइट ऑफ द वैल्यूज विच यू आर ट्राइंग टू अपहोल्ड और अचीव. ठीक, चले आगे, या कुछ है तो बोलो क्विकली. चलो फिर जीवन में चलते हैं आगे. परमिटस नहीं, ठीक है. बताइए. हाँ, एलिनेशन और कमोडिटी फेटिशिज्म में क्या है? एलिनेशन मतलब क्या है? वर्कर का अपने प्रोडक्ट से सेपरेशन हो गया है. ठीक है, एंड दैट इज ऑल्सो इंटेग्रल. द टू कॉन्सेप्ट्स आर वेरी लिंक्ड, वेरी वेरी इंटीमेटली लिंक्ड. कमोडिटी फेटिशिज्म में भी क्या है? हम वर्कर को या हम चीज को वर्कर से डिस्कनेक्ट करके ही देख रहे हैं. सो द टू गो हैंड इन हैंड. दे आर लिटरली टू साइड्स ऑफ द सेम कॉइन. क्योंकि समाज में एलियनेशन है, कमोडिटी फेटिशिज्म भी है ना. चलिए, हाँ, मूविंग अहेड टू द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक विच इज, बिफोर वी मूव ऑन, एक छोटी सी चीज बताओ. यू डिस्कस्ड 4 टाइप्स ऑफ सोशल एक्शंस. विच ऑफ दीज 4 टाइप्स is the most dominant type of social action in modern society? Which? It is clearly Zweck rational social action which dominates social life in modern society. In other words, people start behaving less and less in terms of other orientations driven by emotion or tradition, etc., and more in terms of a rational orientation. This process, friends, is known as rationalization. This increasing, लिखवाऊंगा भी, increasing dominance of rational social action in social life is known as rationalization. Meaning what? I'll dictate fully. Meaning what? People behave rationally. What do you mean by rationally? Driven by reason, logic, calculation. The process of rationalization entails what Weber calls a disenchantment of the world. Disenchantment of the world. What do you mean by disenchantment? For that, what do you mean by enchanted? Enchanted you must have heard. What is enchanted in normal English?
It's sort of like looking at everything through rose-tinted glasses.
Sorry, no. It's not that. It's not looking at everything through rose-tinted glasses. With due respect, that's not what is enchanted. Under the influence of? Yeah? Being mesmerized with something. That is more like it. Being awestruck. Are you with me? For example, magic is enchanting. You're like awestruck, ye kya ho gaya? You know, it produces a sense of awe and wonder. That is enchanting. Are you with me? So, pre-modern world was literally an enchanted place. People were literally awestruck by various natural social phenomena that they saw around them. It drew in them a sense of wonder. Are you with me? For example, something as, they could not make sense of those things. Something as, something like say lightning or a heavy downpour. Are you with me? That would inspire a sense of awe and wonder amongst the pre-modern folk. So, in these pre-modern societies, things were explained, the various natural and social phenomena were explained in terms of supernatural reasoning or forces, divinity, right? So, religion and magic governed the day-to-day life of the people. Are you with me? So, suddenly, मूसलाधार बारिश हो गई. क्यों हो गई? हाँ, सो इंद्र भगवान क्रोधित थे, सो मूसलाधार बारिश हो गई. अगले साल बारिश नहीं हुई. क्यों हुए? अगेन इंद्र भगवान अलग टाइप के क्रोधित थे, तो इस साल बारिश नहीं हुई. आर यू विद मी? But as modernization takes place, as the society modernizes, people's thinking starts changing. People start relying less and less upon such supernatural, magical, religious kind of explanations. Then, how do they explain various social and natural phenomena? Based on reason, logic, empirical evidence or science. These become the new sources of knowledge. So disenchantment literally means, nothing no more arouses a sense of wonder. Are you with me? Everything seems knowable. If not already known, at least knowable. Nothing is beyond the realm of human understanding. Are you with me? So that happens in this process of rationalization. Disenchantment. So mystery, etc. become a thing of the past. Supernatural, magic, divinity, all these become a thing of the past. People start relying upon cold calculation for benefit maximization. They increasingly focus on predictability, control, empirical basis for their actions. Are you with me? So they start viewing things, they start acting rationally, thinking rationally. And this process of rationalization, friends, affects various fields of, various areas of social life. It affects, for example, economic behavior of man. So you had the emergence of industrial capitalism, profit-seeking, cold calculating actions. Are you with me? It affects law and government and administration. So you see the rise of bureaucratic structures. Weber sees bureaucracy is kind of, organizational form of rational social action. Rationality in organizational form is epitomized in bureaucracy. You see it even in religion. Religion itself is demystified, rationalized. And you see what Weber will discuss, we will discuss the rise of Protestantism, which is a more rational religion, which seems to be, kind of, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, एक विरोधाभास होता है किसी में, paradoxical kind of a term. Are you with me? So even religion gets rationalized. So rationalization affects various spheres of human activity. ठीक है? Clear? तो लिखो. Rationalization. Rationalization is a social process wherein rational social action becomes the dominant form of social action. Full stop. People increasingly think and act कैसे? Rationally. Semicolon. And rely less and less upon emotions or tradition as a basis for their actions. Full stop. Rationality refers to those ideas and behaviors that are logically coherent and consistent with empirical knowledge. Full stop. Rationalization is the process whereby rationality is applied to various areas of social life. Full stop. Next para. According to Weber, the process of modernization entails increasing rationalization of social life. Full stop. Individuals no more rely upon supernatural beliefs, religion, and magic to guide their social actions. Full stop. Man is driven more by logic, reason, and calculation. Full stop. Quantification, predictability, and methodical calculation become important. Full stop. In Weber's own words, excuse me, rationalization means that start quotation marks, there are no mysterious, incalculable forces. I repeat, there are no mysterious, incalculable forces that come into play. Full stop. Rather, one can master all things by calculation. Full stop. Close the quotes. For example, friends, if a farmer wants to increase his agricultural yield, right? One thing that he can do, he'll gather whatever money he has or resources he has, and he will start क्या? Sorry? HYV seeds लेगा? नहीं, वो हवन करेंगे. क्या करेंगे? हवन करेंगे, हवन करेंगे, हवन करेंगे. That is one way. So he'll try to propitiate the rain gods, the gods governing crop yield, etc. The second way, using the same money or resources at his disposal, in the same time frame, he can possibly dig a well so as to water the fields. Are you with me? In the first case, he is relying upon what? The supernatural divinity. There's this sense of enchantment. Yeah? And in the second, he is relying on rationality and logic. Right? So this entails a shift in human behavior or actions. Human actions, instead of being driven by some supernatural, etc., considerations, to those driven by cold calculation and logic. Clear? So which of these two farmers belongs to the pre-modern era? The one doing Havan, rituals and rites, and the one digging a well or using HYV seeds would belong to the modern world. है ना? Full stop. Full stop. Next para. Thus, the process of rationalization involves progressive disenchantment of the world. Progressive disenchantment of the world, comma, the eradication of excuse me, mystery, emotions, and tradition, and its replacement by rational calculation. For Weber, full stop डाल के, for Weber, the process of rationalization affects the economy, law, administration, and even religion. Full stop. It underpins PINS, underpins the emergence of industrial capitalism and the modern bureaucracy. ठीक है? Full stop. This is about rationalization. Moving on to the next topic, which is authority. Friends, forget Weber, forget sociology. In layman terms, it's an English word. What do you understand by authority? Raise your hands and speak. Sorry? So authority, according to him, is synonymous with power. Okay? Yes, brother. So you're saying it's somewhat limited control. Huh? Yes. You had raised your hand? Legal power. Authority, according to him, is legal power. Sorry? So you're saying authority is synonymous with leadership. The normal English sense of the usage of the term. Beti? Power and the right to give orders and make them obey. Okay. Brother? Interesting. He says it's the ability to influence others' decisions. Yes. Beti? Sorry? Backed by? Okay, complete that. I understand what you're saying. What backed by sanctions? So whatever the authority is backed by sanctions. ठीक है. So backed by sanctions, likewise somebody else also said they can extract compliance. Okay.
Authority comes with responsibility.
अच्छा. ठीक है. So that famous quote from Spider-Man, है ना? Uncle Ben, I think it was. With great power comes great responsibility. So amazing, na? Like a fictional character, that was Saidi guy in a iconic movie. So power is associated with responsibility. Beti? Just and fair power. What do you mean by that? Which is legitimate to the subjects. Yes? That may be one of the functions, many functions of authority. But that's not like definitionally what authority is. Legitimate power acknowledged by everyone. Is it, what is your sense, friends? Is power, authority acknowledged by everyone? Questionable. ठीक है. So we have some basic understanding of the English term authority. A lot of it is on the right track. One word which is frequently used almost synonymously with authority, or to explain authority, is power. Another simple English word, forget Weber. What is power? Yes, brother? Good. Power is his ability to make others do what he wants them to do. Whether coercively or say willingly. Good, very well expressed. Yes. Synonymous with? फिर हमें समझना पड़ेगा लीडर क्या होता है. छूटते ना. No, we are not getting into that kind of distinction. Yeah. Superiority, dominance, that is what is power about. See, power, firstly friends, please appreciate. Power is what? As he very rightly pointed out, power is simply the ability of an individual or a social group to extract compliance. Thank you. To influence the behavior of others. To control the actions of others if need be. ठीक? That is simply power. It may be done coercively or without the application of coercion. ठीक? So, to understand authority, first we are understanding power. Now also appreciate, friends. So power is what? Simply the ability to have one's own, to impose one's will over others. That is power. जो मैं चाहता हूं वो हो. बेशक आप करना चाहते हो या ना करना चाहते हो, आप वो करो जो मैं चाहता हूं. That is my power over you. ठीक? Now, first we need to appreciate power is not in absolute terms. Power is always relational. Power is a relational concept. Power is a relational concept. Meaning what? One holds power in relation to others. You don't say one holds power. So I can't say I have power. I will say I have power over my children as a father. Are you with me? Now if I go tell children elsewhere, eat your food, will they eat their food? Of course not. If I tell my children eat your food, they will hopefully eat their food. Are you with me? So I hold power as a father over my children, as a husband over my wife, and so on and so forth. Yes or no? So power is necessarily a relational concept. Clear? Secondly, please appreciate, power is not चलिए इसको आगे देखते हैं. पावर मे बी ऑफ टू टाइप्स. पावर मे बी ऑफ टू टाइप्स. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, you walk out of the classroom and there's a gunda on the street. He puts a gun to your temple and says, you give me 2,000 bucks. Does he have power over you? Does the gunda have power over you? In other words, can he make you do stuff which you don't want to, irrespective of your will? Yes or no? How many of you will part with 2,000 bucks? Others also, please do. It's an earnest request. So, you will comply when you have a gun to your temple. Temple matlab khopdi, not mandir. If you are confused with that. So he enjoys power. You go further ahead after giving 2,000 bucks to the gunda. A traffic cop stops your car for jumping the red light. And he also hands you a challan for 2,000 bucks. does he have power to extract compliance from you? Will you give him 2,000 bucks? Answer is yes. In both cases, you've parted with 2,000 bucks, presumably something you didn't want to do, because you were compelled to do so by another person. But there is a difference. In the first case, do you think that the Gunda had the right to or was justified in exerting that power over you? The answer is no. So the Gunda was exercising, in this example, what we call illegitimate power. Illegitimate power. Which is also called coercion. Illegitimate power or coercion. He was forcing you. He was coercing you or forcing you. Right? The cop, the traffic cop, on the other hand, was exercising legitimate power. Which is also known as authority. So what is authority? Authority is a form of legitimate power. Clear? So what makes the exercise of a power a form of authority is legitimacy. It is legitimacy. What is legitimacy? Do you think, by the way, that if you jump a red light, the traffic cop has is being fair and reasonable if he's handing you a challan? Yes? So that is legitimate authority. Clear? Now, what is legitimacy? Or what do you mean by legitimate, illegitimate? Yes? Sorry? Sorry? Recognized by the whole society. Accepted by the society. Whole society, not. Legal. One word which is often used to explain legitimacy is legality. But please appreciate, don't talk. Legality and legitimacy are not the same. It's a misconception. It's incorrect to confuse between the two. Common but incorrect. The two may go hand in hand, or they may not. Legitimacy means what? It means simply, हिंदी में बोलेंगे जायज. Illegitimate child, क्या बोलते हैं? नाजायज बच्चा. ठीक? So legitimacy means जायजता. जायज क्या होता है? That which is considered as reasonable, just and fair. That which is considered as just, fair and reasonable. That's not the complete understanding of the term legitimacy. Okay, we are slowly building on it. For example, in our example, okay, the one we've taken, the power of the street gunda, is it legal? No. Is it legitimate? No. So it is neither legal nor legitimate. Is the power of the traffic cop to challan you for overspeeding legal? Yes. Meaning, when we say it is legal, we mean what? It has a basis in law. कोई कानून है जिसके तहत वो आपका चालान काट रहा है. Clearly, there is a legal framework, set of rules and regulations deriving from the laws of the land under which he is handing you over that challan. So it is legal or derived from law. Clear? Is it legitimate? Yes. Meaning, we consider that he has the designated authority to issue that challan. Are you with me? Does a husband in our society enjoy power over his wife? Yes or no? Yes or no? The answer is yes, he does. Now, so if a husband tells the wife that you won't be outside the home after 7 p.m. So he puts restrictions on her mobility. You will not wear this or that kind of clothing. Right? So he puts restrictions on her dress. You will not interact with other members of the opposite sex other than me. ठीक है? He puts certain such restrictions on the wife. Are they legal? Yes or no? No. Are they illegal? No. No. They are, we will say, non-legal. ना कानूनी है, ना गैर कानूनी है, or not in violation of the law है. Then we could have called it illegal. But it does not have a basis in law, or it is non-legal. Is it legitimate? Is it just, fair and reasonable? Yes or no? Legitimate है या नहीं है? Of a husband to tell his guy that this is what you should be wearing, or this is how you should be carrying yourself, etc., etc. Legitimate है या नहीं है? My response to that is, who the hell are you to decide that? Whether it is legitimate or not is the perception of those who are not the husband, not the exerciser of. उसके लिए तो हरी legitimate होगी. ठीक है, मैं खून भी कर दूंगा, मैं कहूंगा मुझे पूरा अधिकार है. ठीक है, but by those who are subjected to that authority, by those who are subjected to that authority. So if it's a traditional household, the wife is of the view that इनको पूरा अधिकार है, मेरा अच्छा बुरा सब यही डिसाइड करेंगे, है ना, कि मैं कहाँ जाऊं ना जाऊं, कैसे कपड़े पहनूं ना पहनूं, कितना खाऊं ना खाऊं इत्यादि. Then it is legitimate. The power enjoyed by a husband over the wife's mobility, dress, etc. in a traditional society is legitimate. Legitimate in the eyes of the, not society, wife. Eyes of the wife. ठीक? In contrast, if the wife is a product of JNU, okay, and her husband tells her, तुम ये नहीं खा सकती, ये नहीं पी सकती, इनसे नहीं बात कर सकती, ये पहनोगी, ये नहीं पहनोगी. For her, the exercise of such power will be illegitimate, and you bet वो तो illegal भी करके के ही उसको अंदर करवा के मानेंगी. The point is, it is clearly illegitimate or considered as not just, fair or reasonable by those who are subject to it. Clear? So point is, friends, that legitimacy is a function of the perception of those who are subjected to that power. तो कहां कुछ लिखा था ना हमने, जस्ट फेयर रीजनेबल, क्या लिखा था वो सेंटेंस? Legitimacy means or legitimate power is that power which is considered as just, fair and reasonable by those who are subjected to it. That would be the complete understanding. ठीक है? एक सिंपल डेफिनेशन लिख लो. अथॉरिटी, एक्सक्यूज मी, अथॉरिटी इज दैट पावर which is considered as just, fair and reasonable by those who are subjected to it. By those who are subjected to it. ठीक? Full stop. In brackets, right? Power is the ability of a person or a group to influence, determine or control the actions of others irrespective of their will. Irrespective of their will. ठीक? Clear? Also appreciate, friends, so we've discussed various combos or various conditions. We've discussed forms of power which are neither legal nor legitimate. We've discussed forms of power which are legal and legitimate. The corpse authority to issue you a challan. We've discussed forms of neither legal nor legitimate. The Gunda's authority, power, not authority, the Gunda's power to extract money from you. We've discussed forms of power which are not legal but legitimate. We've discussed power which is not legal and not legitimate. The power of the government of India to frame rules and regulations governing our lives. Is it legal? Yes. Is it legitimate? Yes. What if you are not a BJP supporter? The ruling party presently is the BJP, right? And you are vehemently anti-BJP. Still, is it legitimate? Yes, it is. Why? Because you acknowledge the legitimacy of the broader system through which BJP has come to power. And as law-abiding citizens, you consider it your bounden duty to abide by the rules and regulations or laws laid down by any government, whichever is in power, even if it's not to your political taste, right? The power of the Indian government to station troops in Kashmir, is it legal? Power of the Indian government to station troops in Kashmir, is it legal? Is the power of the Indian government to station troops in Kashmir legitimate from the perspective of Azad Kashmir activists? For them, it is not legitimate. The Indian government, through the barrel of the gun, is muffling the voice of the people. Yes or no? It is coercing them. क्योंकि भारत की सरकार को कोई अधिकार नहीं है कि वो वहां के लोगों की बुलंद आवाज को बंद करे, ठीक है, या कुचले, according to the perspective of Azad Kashmir movement and activists. Clear? So that may be legal, but it is considered as illegitimate by a certain section of the society upon whom it is being exercised. Clear? According to Weber, authority can be of three types. Weber classifies authority into three types. First is traditional authority. Very simple. Traditional authority. Traditional authority means what? When, I'll make you write. First, let's understand. I'll dictate later. So what is traditional authority? Simply when an authority figure is obeyed because he occupies some traditional office. Okay? So simply because we bow, the followers consider that we must obey this figure because it is the tradition in our society. For example, the authority of monarchs, kings, is a classic example of traditional authority. So why did the people obey Aurangzeb? Because he is the son of Shah Jahan, whom our forefathers obeyed. And why was Shah Jahan obeyed? Because he is the son of Jahangir, whom our forefathers obeyed. And why was Jahangir obeyed? He is the son of, and so on and so forth. Are you with me? So that is a classic case of traditional authority. Simply people obey it because they consider it right to obey those or bow down before those who occupy an office based on a certain tradition. ठीक? A similar example or another example would be feudal lords. The authority that feudal lords enjoy in feudal society is also a form of traditional authority. It is passed on from one generation to the next. Okay? So one generation serves the lords of that generation because their forefathers served the generation of lords before them, and so on and so forth. So likh lo. Traditional authority dash when the followers obey authority because they believe in the rightness of obeying holders of traditional status. They believe in the rightness of obeying the holders of traditional status. Obeying those who hold traditional status. Full stop. Traditional authority structure typically involves a household of personal servants and a number of lords and nobles and a number of lords and nobles who swear allegiance I repeat, traditional authority structure typically involves a household of personal servants and a number of lords and nobles who swear allegiance to the monarch. Allegiance means loyalty. They pledge their loyalty to the king. So typically ऐसा होता है, राजा का एक वो होगा हाउस होल्ड ऑफ पर्सनल सर्वेंट्स, जिसमें दास दासियां होंगे, खानसामा होगा, blah blah, and then they will have various mantris who would be nobles and lords, etc., who swear their allegiance to the king. Now, what is the role and what are the powers, etc., of different authority holders in this traditional authority structure? Is it arbitrarily set by the Raja? Or is it fixed? कौन बोला? क्यों बोले? Why is it fixed? हाँ, I know, it was a female voice. हाँ. Why is it fixed? So it is up, is it, that's what I'm asking, is it based on the whims and fancies of the king? तो fixed नहीं है ना, in that sense. Is it based on the whims and fancies of the ruler, or is it a given? Sorry? It is based on traditions, yes. So the king does not have this arbitrary, this thing, okay? And king's own powers, does he enjoy absolute power, the monarch, in a monarchy? Or his powers are also circumscribed? Circumscribed by what? By tradition. So he also has to follow the tradition. Why? Because that's the source of his own legitimacy. So he can't disband tradition, he can't, denounce tradition. Are you with me? He also must subscribe to whatever the tradition says, because that is the source of the legitimacy of his authority. तो लिखो, क्या लिखा है लास्ट सेंटेंस बिटिया? ठीक है, full stop. In traditional authority structures, the roles and obligations governing the conduct of various authority holders are defined by customs and traditions. I repeat, in traditional authority structures, the rules and obligations governing the conduct of various officials, authority holders is determined by customs and traditions, but may be modified by the king. May be modified by the king. Full stop. Typically, monarchs also do not enjoy absolute authority. As his powers are also, I repeat, typically monarchs also do not enjoy absolute authority or unlimited authority, as his powers are also circumscribed, limited by tradition. ठीक, ये है traditional authority structure. Right examples: monarchy, feudal lords, etc. The second type of authority is charismatic authority. Charismatic authority. Another example, say the authority enjoyed by elders in a traditional society. हम बड़ों की क्यों सुनते हैं? क्योंकि हमारे बड़े भी अपने बड़ों की सुनते थे और वो भी अपने बड़ों की सुनते थे. हमारे समाज में बड़ों की हमेशा से सुनी जाती है, इसलिए हम बड़ों की सुनते हैं. ठीक? Charismatic authority. Forget Weber, forget sociology. Let's talk in plain English sense of the word. What do you understand by this word charisma? Beti? Personality. And I'm presuming you're saying a very good personality. Of course, है ना? A very awesome, influential personality. Charm. One sec, huh? Charisma is... One sec. Charisma, you were saying, is personality. Charisma is charm. Brother? That's a very interesting, good way to put it. Enchanting influence. What do you mean by that? Can you simplify that for us? A sense of awe. बिल्कुल नहीं, सही बात है. Enchanting. Very beautiful usage of the term. हाँ. Or what is charisma? People we look up to. How satisfactory is that, people? Are charismatic people those who we look up to? Let's see. और बताइए. So, ठीक है, you are trying to, tell me the nature of this thing. Tell me more substantively what is charisma. Positive aura. That's a wonderful word. Huh? He has a positive aura. What do you mean by this aura? Positive vibes. So are you suggesting people who are very amenable or simply likable? Are you suggesting it's likable people?
No, people, of course, a person having a good aura, positivity is likable.
But is that the same as having charisma? No. What's the difference then?
Maybe a person can also carry some sort of an influence and authority and charm, exact. All of these words,
In totality. Beti? We aspire. So people we look up to, I think you're suggesting. Yes, brother? Fascinating. That's a fascinating word actually. Why should certain people fascinate us? Fascinate us मतलब कोई नई दुनिया थोड़ी ना है, ये तो एक व्यक्ति ही तो है at the end of the day. How are certain people, what you're saying, and I'm just seeking a clarification, in what ways certain people can be fascinating? Have you met anybody whom you regard as fascinating? Fascinating banda tha ya bandi thi? Yeah? Are there people who are very attractive? That's very flattering. But also perhaps because we don't yet have a clear understanding of what charisma is. Brother? Superiors. What makes a somebody charismatic? Yes.
So someone who can extract compliance and mobilize people en masse.
Who can mobilize people. So are you saying mass-based leaders are charismatic?
They are the front runner example, I would say.
Okay. So those who can mobilize a large number of people. But on what basis? Yes, Betty? Somebody with unique features as in what? Like physical features? What kind of features? Say if I have 6 fingers instead of 5. Does that make me? Huh? She's saying her example of charismatic persons is people with different colored eyes. भूरी भूरी आंखें होती हैं कुछ लोगों की, किसी की ग्रे बिल्ली जैसी आंखें होती हैं, नीली नीली झील जैसी आंखें होती हैं. Are these charismatic people? Or let me say, are charismatic people those who are attractive? Are they like good looking, charming? Do they have like the good personalities? Huh, brother? Huh? So Yogi Adityanath, would you say he's a charismatic leader or a person? You may or may not agree with his politics. Okay, that's a different matter altogether. I'm not asking whether you are a supporter of Yogi Adityanath, but is he a charismatic leader? Is he good looking? Attractive? In contrast, say a Hrithik Roshan. Okay? He has a wonderful personality, or a Katrina Kaif. Both of them have wonderful personality, are superb, good looking, attractive. In contrast, you have people like a Yogi Adityanath, a Modi, a Lalu Yadav, or a Gandhi, the original Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi. Wait, let's keep that out of this thing. Which of these two categories, people like Hrithik Roshan, Katrina Kaif, Aishwarya Rai, or whatever, in one block, these guys are good looking, attractive, good personality, etc., very, very charming. Yes or no? Are these persons charismatic? Hrithik Roshan वगैरह, do they have charisma? They don't. Then you have a very incorrect, respectfully, you have an incorrect understanding of what is charisma. Please appreciate. In contrast, a person like Narendra Modi, Yogi Adityanath, or Mahatma Gandhi, okay, they are, bluntly put, ugly. Yes or no? Far from good looking. One author I read writing on Mahatma Gandhi, he said he was born with a face only a mother could love. Okay? And so clearly not very attractive, etc. people. But the latter category are clearly charismatic individuals. Yes or no? What makes somebody charismatic? Is it public speaking skills? Those who are, orators par excellence, are they charismatic? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Please appreciate. Though a good number of charismatic persons have been found to possess this trait, many do not. You hear one of the most charismatic persons in modern Indian history, Mahatma Gandhi. He was a below average public speaker. Below average. Less than ordinary. You Google and go to YouTube, search for his speeches. The audios are there. He speaks in a very uninspiring, should I say, kind of a manner. No rhetoric, no not rousing kind of speeches. He speaks like, मैं तो एक बड़ा सीधा साधा इंसान हूँ. That's really how he speaks. Very uninspiring, to say the least. On the other hand, you do have people like a Modi, who are good or excellent orators. But it is not the defining criteria for charisma. Charisma is firstly, what I want to drive home is charisma is not something which is very commonly found in a population. It's a very rare kind of a trait. It's a very rare kind of a trait. It's not even or only a function of success. There are far more successful persons in their respective fields than those who are regarded as charismatic. Charismatic persons are those who inspire literally a devotion amongst their followers. Are you with me? They kind of command a blind adherence to their path. That is the kind of emotional connect which charismatic persons are able to establish with a mass of people. That is why, friends, other political leaders have followers, but Modi ji has bhakts. Literally. Because he has that aura. And aura is much more than just positive vibes. Positive vibes my office secretary may have. I like to meet her every day when I come in. She smiles, it's pleasant and everything. It's far more than that. That the charismatic person can almost arouse a devotion in the followers. He is able to establish an emotional connect. And the followers start believing that their lives can be fundamentally transformed for the better. अपने जीवन की बागडोर इसके हाथ में दे दो, ये नैया पार लगा देगा. पता नहीं कैसे, बट कुछ तो है इसके पास जादू की छड़ी कि ये हमारी नैया पार लगा देगा. Are you with me? So charisma is not about looks or personality or even your ability to deliver speeches in public. Okay, it is far more about establishing that connection with the mass of people so as to arouse almost a devotion towards the charismatic individual. This, the origins of the word charisma is from a religious context. करिश्मा किसके पास है? जो करिश्मा करते हैं. So, the founders of various major religions were charismatic figures. A Jesus Christ, Prophet Muhammad. Sorry? Oh, Hindu, mythological figures. Huh? Or a Marx, a Guru Nanak, Gautam Buddha. They literally had that aura which is represented symbolically in paintings and drawings with that chakra or that halo behind their heads. Are you with me? Now, of course, this concept of charisma has gone far beyond only the domain of religion. Now we associate it also with political figures, military leaders, yes or no? Philosophers, and so on and so forth. Clear? But mind you, charisma is a very rare kind of a trait. Clear? It's not something, every Tom, Dick and Harry would possess. It's not something you will find on every nukkad or choraha. ठीक है. Modern parlance में, in say in media, etc., you may have heard this phrase, the X factor. That he possesses or she has the X factor. X factor matlab we can't really pinpoint or lay our finger on, what is it about her that's so compelling, so that draws us to her. Are you with me? That is what is charisma. Some sort of a compelling power in the persona, not the personality, but in the persona of a person. Clear? है ही थोड़ी ये mystical सी quality. That's why it's not clear. ठीक है? But can we say or mention some leaders who were indisputably charismatic? Or are? Or were? Hitler, Mahatma Gandhi, yes? Subhash Chandra Bose. Sorry? Kalam again not a very good public speaker. A prolific speaker but not a good speaker. ना काफी वो public speeches देते थे but बहुत अच्छा नहीं बोलते थे. हाँ. Sachin Tendulkar. But then again, are all cricketers, successful, money-minting cricketers, charismatic? No. Or Sachin Tendulkar or possibly MS Dhoni, yes. Huh? Sorry? Sandeep Maheshwari? Acha, that motivational guy. I don't know. Possibly for a lot of people. Yes? Nelson Mandela. Obama. ठीक है. Huh? So good. We have a good number and acha, while writing in the exam, don't mention the current crop of political leaders. Modi is clearly charismatic. Yogi, for a lot of people, is charismatic. But avoid. ठीक है? Mention dead and safe ones. And there are plenty. Right? Standard ones like Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. इस टाइप के. कौन? हाँ, नेहरू इज ऑल्सो, है ना? पटेल, ये सब चलेंगे. और क्राइस्ट एंड प्रॉफिट मोहम्मद, गुरु नानक, इस टाइप के बढ़िया लोग. हाँ, नन ऑफ द लिविंग. या so often it may happen that charisma may be revealed post-mortem or after death, like in the case of Karl Marx. For a very large number of people, he is a great source of inspiration. His writings, his theory, the framework, his analysis is inspirational beyond measure. A lot of people, for example, may not have come in contact with a गुवेरा. इंडिया में आपको, यूपी में, बलिया में लोग मिल जाएंगे गुवेरा की टी शर्ट पहने हुए. यस और नो? ये है उसका करिश्मा. हाँ ब्रदर? पता नहीं. आई डोंट थिंक, क्लियरली नॉट अ say for a good example, I would say. I'm not saying just because he is a negative figure. A Hitler again is a negative figure in various senses, but he's a clearly regarded as a charismatic figure. ठीक है? चलिए, so we get the drift. लिखिए. Charismatic authority. Charisma refers to perceived supernatural or superhuman qualities perceived supernatural or superhuman qualities, or at least, continue writing in the same breath, or at least exceptional qualities in a leader, which inspire people to establish an emotional connect with him, and they obey him on that basis. Give a couple of examples, safe ones. Mahatma Gandhi, Guru Nanak, Jesus Christ, Kalam, good number of examples. Full stop. Next para. In case of charismatic authority, how would you rate Anna Hazare? Anna Hazare during the India Against Corruption campaign? Charismatic? Did he have a large or a fairly large following? Yeah. Was his authority traditional or whatever? No. It was his charisma. He inspired a sense of awe, he inspired obedience amongst the followers because they believe that he has some jadoo ki chhadi which can help transform their lives for the better. He can wipe out corruption from India with the waving of a wand. Right? क्या लिखा है बेटी? In case of charismatic authority, the authority structure is fluid and ill-defined. Fluid and ill-defined. Fluid and ill-defined. Full stop. There is no clear hierarchy of officials. There is no clear hierarchy of officials and no general rules which are applied. When we say it's fluid and ill-defined, what do we mean? That, in stark contrast to, say, traditional authority or the next type of authority structure that we will discuss. Say bureaucracy. Okay? In a traditional authority or in a bureaucratic structure, there is a fair degree of permanence. Yes or no? So you have clearly defined offices or posts, steady sources of revenue to sustain that administration. Are you with me? Clearly laid down rules and regulations, etc. Which is missing in case of charismatic authority structures. Why? Because charismatic authority structures pop up, if I may use that term, when people start perceiving certain individuals as having charismatic qualities. Are you with me? So, say in case of the India Against Corruption movement, okay, Anna Hazare was the undisputed leader of the movement, charismatic fellow who inspired a lot of people to join the anti-corruption campaign, right? Then there was a second rung of leaders, a Kejriwal, a Kiran Bedi, and Kumar Vishwas, etc. Some of them may possess somewhat lesser charisma of their own, like say a Kiran Bedi. She did possess a charisma of her own. Yes or no? Being the first female IPS officer and blah blah. But then you also had an Arvind Kejriwal. He had done some work as an RTI activist, etc. But it was not seen as charismatic. So what would such leaders do? they would bask in the charisma of the leader. They would reflect the charisma of the leader. So he will try to have some shine whereof from Anna Hazare, the undisputed charismatic leader, and reflect upon him. Simply he would sit at the feet of Anna Hazare as the Nehru to his Gandhi. Yes or no? कि जैसे Nehru was the younger fellow and following in the path shown by the ideologue, the Gandhi. Likewise, I am the younger guy, the doer. I'll put into action whatever Annaji says. Are you with me? And that is how he developed a charisma sort of on his own, of his own. Okay? But there's no permanence. You would have people going in and coming out, like in the anti-corruption movement. You had, for example, I think Sri Ravi Shankar associated with the movement for a while, but then he backed off. You had other people, likewise, associated for a bit, and then Ramdev joined the movement, Baba Ramdev, for a while, and then he branched out, and so on and so forth. So there is no clear, well-laid authority structure except the head figure, who is, the source of all that charisma. Clear? So there is a lot of fluidity in the authority, in the charismatic authority structure. Clear? Full stop. क्या मतलब हुआ? खुद के कुछ बोलने के बाद full stop. In any case. I mean, लिखो, आगे लिखो. In charismatic authority structures, there are typically no clear and well-defined sources of revenue. Revenue, mind you, is very important to sustain any organization, any authority structure. Do traditional authority structures have a steady source of revenue? And say, do modern bureaucracies have a steady source of revenue? Modern governments? You bet they do. Right? But charismatic authority typically does not have a regular, steady, well laid out source of revenue. Full stop. So it typically relies upon charity or plunder, loot. ठीक? The third type of authority is rational legal authority. Rational legal authority. First I'll explain, then I'll dictate the same thing. What is rational legal authority? Simply when an authority figure or authority holder is obeyed because what is the source of legitimacy? Law. Either it is a legal framework or it is a set of rational rules, regulations or considerations. Are you with me? People believe in their rightness of the legal framework or the rational rules and considerations from which that authority holder derives his power. Are you with me? That is why they obey him. For example, the traffic cop who chalans you. Why do we obey him? Does he have charisma? क्या हम उसके तेज से आकर्षित हो जाते हैं, मनमोहित हो जाते हैं? हाँ? Clearly not. Do we obey? Is he a holder of traditional authority? कि हमारे बाप दादा ने उसके बाप दादा को? No. Then it is rational legal authority. Because we subscribe to, we are in agreement with the legal framework from which the tax inspector or the traffic cop draws his authority. Yes or no? Clear? तो लिख लो. Rational legal authority is obeyed by the followers because it is derived from a legal framework or rational rules and considerations which are considered as just, fair and reasonable by the followers. ठीक है? Give a couple of examples, such as the authority of the traffic cop, the tax inspector, the civil servant, the judge. Yes or no? In modern societies. Is what? Rational legal authority. Now, I want to discuss or share a bit with you about the nature of charismatic authority. Charismatic authority, friends, by its very nature, it is short-lived. Charismatic authority is short-lived. Say, unlike say traditional authority or क्या नाम है तुम्हारा? Rational legal authority. Why is it short-lived? Because it emanates from the person. Certain perceived superior qualities in the person. Are you with me? So at most, charismatic authority will end with when? With the death of the charismatic person or leader. Yes or no? Traditional authority will continue. One king, Babur dies, replaced by Humayun, replaced by Akbar, Jahangir, and so on and so forth. The traffic cop, one is shunted out, another will replace him. One dies, another will replace him. Yes or no? So there's a lot of permanence associated with the other two structures. But charismatic authority, because it emanates from the perceived qualities of the leader, it is necessarily short-lived. At best, it ends with the death of the leader. Or it may end sooner. It may also end sooner. How sooner? These are perceived exceptional qualities of the leader. Please appreciate. So if the followers stop perceiving exceptional qualities in the leader, then the charisma wanes, even when the guy is alive. For example, Asharamji Bapu. Yes or no? Did he have charisma in his heydays? You bet he did. He did sway the minds of lakhs of people. and he inspired devotion in them. Yes or no? But that charisma waned, declined, or many followers stopped perceiving charisma in him when there were allegations of sexual misconduct. Are you with me? And subsequent incarceration, etc. For some, he still may be a charismatic person, falsely implicated in blah blah. But for many, the charisma has subsided. Okay? So, charismatic authority, friends, point is, by nature it is short-lived. At best, it dies with the death of the charismatic leader. Clear? Now tell me, Jesus Christ has died. Has his charismatic authority ended with his death? No. Mahatma Gandhi has died. Has his authority ended with him? No. So friends, what happens that in many instances, charismatic authority transforms into traditional authority or rational legal authority. Are you with me? And then it sustains beyond the death of the leader. And this process, friends, is known as routinization of charisma. लिखवा दूंगा, लिखो, simple चीज है. Routinization of charisma. Dash. Routinization of charisma refers to the process wherein charismatic authority is transformed into traditional authority or rational legal authority. Full stop. While charisma is short-lived, comma, routinization of charisma enables charismatic authority to sustain beyond the lifetime of the charismatic leader. ठीक? Full stop. For example, give a couple of examples. The charismatic authority of Jesus Christ has been transformed into which type? Traditional authority. Yes or no? Of the church and the Christian way of life, simply. Which is till date followed by millions of Christians across the globe. ठीक? The charismatic authority of Prophet Muhammad is transformed into which type? traditional authority in the sense of the Islamic way of life, followed by millions of Muslims across the globe. Also, rational legal authority. Why? Because his teachings are the basis of the law in many Islamic countries. Yes or no? Clear? With that, we take a short break. ठीक है? All of you are trying to join the bureaucracy. What is it? At a basic level. कुछ तो पता होगा ब्यूरोक्रेसी के बारे में जिसका पार्ट बनने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. Sorry? That tells me so less about it, beta. Well-controlled rules and mechanisms. Okay, through which an institution functions. Yes. Brother? It is the administrative framework of the country. Good.
It's a democratic system which is a part of the government.
It's a part of the government, and she says it's a democratic system. What do you mean it's a democratic system? Like, are people chosen in the bureaucracy by the method of elections or
Not elected,
popular?
but yes, like through an exam, so that makes it very much
Democratic. Huh?
authority.
Beti?
So it's like a segmental organization which practices authority in a rational legal sense.
It practices authority very cleverly. She's picked up from what I just shared with you in a rational legal sense. Brother? Good. There's a very clear chain of command. Legal implementer. ठीक है. So let's put it this way. The functions of the government can be divided into how many? 3 branches. You have the legislative function or law making done by the legislature. Then you have the implementation function or law implementation done by the executive. And then you have the adjudication function done by the judiciary. Bureaucracy is where? A part of the executive, meaning it's entrusted with implementing the laws, the rules, the regulations framed by the or laid down by the government. You know? Again, when you say it's a part of the executive, executive has 2 parts to it, 2 aspects to it. Yes, there is what we have is so for example, certain politicians become a part of the executive or the administrative machinery. They are known as what? The ministers. The ministers are elected representatives who form or become a part of the executive machinery, law implementing machinery as the heads of various ministries, right? But they are there for a finite period of time, or say for a tenure of 5 years, or while the government lasts. And then you have, so they will keep changing, but then you have a bureaucracy which is a permanent executive, right? Which stays irrespective of the party in power. और बताइए. Brother? It's a desk rule type. Meaning? You're right. Meaning? Authorized through an office. ठीक है. बेटी? They are in the implementation or executive branch of the government. It is a hierarchical form of organization, absolutely. Yes, that is a fair, rudimentary understanding of what a bureaucracy is. Look at it etymologically. अगर आप इस शब्द की संरचना को देखें, it is made up of 2 parts, bureau plus cracy. The suffix cracy refers to rule of. Demos, cracy. Demo plus cracy. Demos refers to people. Cracy means rule of. Rule of the people is called democracy. Autocracy. Auto means single. Cracy means rule of. Rule of a single person is autocracy. Likewise, bureaucracy. The suffix cracy here denoting rule of. The word bureau literally means or refers to desk. So the word bureaucracy literally means the rule of desk officials. The rule of desk officials. Make sense? Sounds quite weird to me. What does it mean, rule of desk officials? I mean, it doesn't add up. What do you really understand by rule of desk officials? See, when we say it's the rule of desk officials, it means, or it is in contrast to those who do not rule from behind the desk. Who is it who do not rule from behind the desk? Yes, the politicians. They are out there. Where do they rule from? They are out there in the field, amongst the members of the public. Are you with me? But bureaucrats are officials who rule from behind the desk or sitting in offices. They don't go to the public. Members of the public may come to them. Are you with me? So it is the rule of literally unelected officials. So bureaucrats are unelected or selected, while politicians are elected. Bureaucrats are selected and or unelected, while politicians are elected. Clear? So what we mean by bureaucracy literally is rule of unelected officials from behind the desk or from the office. Okay? Now in our country, India, do we have a bureaucracy? Sure? तभी तो हम यहाँ हैं. In America, is there a bureaucracy? In Japan, is there a bureaucracy? And in Oman, is there a bureaucracy? In Morocco? Hogi hi. The point is that bureaucracy, friends, is a global phenomena in modern times. All modern societies across the globe have a bureaucratic organization to run the administrative machinery of the country. हर देश में, modern societies में, हर देश में bureaucracy पाई जाती है. Clear? सवाल is क्यों? Why? Why do bureaucracies exist across the globe in modern times? Or why do all modern societies have bureaucratic structures or administrative machinery?
System, other rulers, the public rulers, may or may not possess the core competencies required to run a nation.
Why not? May not. Why?
Because, for example, in a system like democracy, there is no
There is no.
minimum eligibility of the education.
So you're saying public elected representatives may be uneducated. The bureaucrats are educated.
They are competent. I won't say education, but competency.
Okay, so public representatives or elected representatives may be incompetent, but bureaucrats are trained or competence is inculcated in the bureaucrats. Or let me put it this way. Would you expect a bureaucracy to exist in a small-sized, primitive, tribal society? Would they have bureaucracies? No. But modern societies, all modern societies have bureaucracies. Why? Yes? Simply, friends, please appreciate. In modern industrial societies, the size of the population which is to be governed is large. There are lakhs and millions of people who are to be governed. the tasks entrusted to the government are huge. Very, very large scale tasks are to be performed. These large scale tasks cannot be performed by a handful of people. You need a very large number of people engaging in various activities and coordination of those activities. Are you with me? Which necessitates the emergence of a hierarchical structure as the bureaucracy. Are you with me? Simply put, let us say that you can't achieve large scale tasks without a hierarchical, well structured organization with clearly demarcated areas of authority. For instance, let us say Mummy Gandhi wins the next election. Yeah, the Madam Gandhi. And she decides that I've given up on baby Gandhi. Despite multiple launches, nothing is happening. This guy seems very uninterested. And she adopts you as her hire. ठीक है कि मुझे एक नए वारिस की जरूरत है देश के चलाने के लिए. ये लड़का इंटरेस्ट नहीं ले रहा. तो and you are handed over the reins of the country. Mummy Gandhi tells you कि बेटा go and run the country. Govern India for me. ठीक? Now governing India is a humongous task. How will you do it? How will you perform such a complex, large-scale task as to govern a large nation like India? So what we will do, we will say, okay, governing India means what? Sorry? Divide for me. Do it, you've been chosen. You are the higher. तो क्या करोगे आप? हाँ, क्या बनाओगे बताओ? बिल्कुल. So you will divide this large and complex task of governing India into relatively smaller tasks. Say, you will say governing India means what? Managing the defense of the country. Managing education in the country. Managing foreign relations. Managing healthcare. Managing finance. And so on and so forth. So what have we done? We have divided a large complex task called governing India into relatively smaller and relatively more manageable tasks. Health, education, blah, blah, blah. Right? And then what you will do? You will say, Bhai, I am the Prime Minister or whoever, and I can't do it all alone. So, I will entrust these different departments to different persons. Who are these persons? So you'll have a defense minister heading the defense ministry, the education minister, and so on and so forth. Right? Now, say managing the finances of the country. Relatively smaller and more manageable, but again, managing the finances of the country is in itself a pretty big, complicated, large-scale task. What do? You will further subdivide it into still smaller and still more manageable tasks. You will say finance involves what? It involves managing the revenue, managing, say, expenses, managing capital markets, and so on and so forth. Okay? And then you will appoint One person in each department. So you will have the ministers at this level, and then the ministers will change with every elections or with every change of government. Who is the topmost bureaucrat in the country? Cabinet secretary. Cabinet secretary. So one in several will become a cabinet or reach the level of a cabinet secretary. But lot of IS officers who, particularly if you start young, if you're selected young, you can hope to reach the level of secretary. Okay, and secretaries would head the various ministries and so on and so forth. Okay, so finance ministry will have a finance secretary. Then he has further subdivided it into different departments. Then each department will be headed by a additional secretary, joint secretary, deputy secretary, ऐसे नीचे. मतलब कि revenue itself is a big department, तो further, and so on and so forth. So what you have developed a bureaucratic or a hierarchical structure in which each post is associated with a clearly demarcated area of responsibilities and the corresponding authority. In other words, हेल्थ किसकी जिम्मेवारी है? हेल्थ सेक्रेटरी की, जिसमें एजुकेशन सेक्रेटरी चूंचा नहीं करेगा. Are you with me? That is the domain of the health secretary. Are you with me? So every department, at every level, a particular official will be assigned a certain set of responsibilities and corresponding authority to perform those responsibilities, leading to, so you will need a very large kind of a hierarchical organization. Yes or no? You need to coordinate the tasks of section officers and people on the ground. How do you do that? Through this bureaucratic organization. One person can't perform the job of the government. The tasks of the government are multifaceted. Its responsibilities are many. It has to serve a very large population. Its services need to reach millions of people. The law and order which is to be maintained by the government again needs to control vast tracts of land covering a very huge population. So for the coordination of the activities of the large number of persons involved in the performance of these large-scale tasks, you need a bureaucracy. Therefore, friends, a bureaucracy is a given in any modern, large-scale industrial society. Clear? तो लिखो. Bureaucracy is a hierarchical organization which is designed rationally to coordinate the work of many persons in order to accomplish large-scale tasks. Excuse me. I repeat, in order to accomplish large-scale tasks and achieve organizational goals. And achieve organizational goals. Full stop. For Weber friends, likhi lo, for Weber, bureaucracy is an expression of which type of authority? Rational legal authority. Bureaucracy is an expression of rational legal authority. ठीक? बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. You guys literally switch off as the clock strikes 8:30. I can see it in your expressions. You literally, subconsciously boycott me. Turn off all communication. Thank you.